I want to know how the hell people in Canada are even living. I generally consider myself a positive person. I'm like resourceful, but some stuff happened around the property, and like, well, I know I'll never truly be homeless. Like, I have family to live with, and you know, like, I have options. Like, I'm luckier than a lot of other people, but how the hell is anyone existing in Canada? Like, I feel trapped. And like I just got a good job. I started in September, but even with that job, it pays less than 40 grand a year. And it's a job that requires like education, and even on that job, like, I still can't do shit. I can't buy anything. I can't afford the rent these days. Like, I'm just feeling so much despair. And I know I'm normally like really, really positive, but I'm just like, how is everyone else, and are you okay? Because the answer's probably no. And I know I'm lucky. I don't have kids. I have like good family that will support me, but I feel like I can't stay here, but I can't move anywhere else, because anywhere else I move to, I'm gonna be charging, like, the landlords are just gonna charge me like $2,500 a month in rent. Like, unless I move into the middle of literally nowhere where there are 0 jobs. And I'm just feeling really overwhelmed. And like, I don't know. There's a part of me that just wants to say F it and just get a whole bunch of credit cards and just travel and just like get out of Canada, because like I know it's bad everywhere. I really do. But I don't know. At 33 years old, like, I was really hoping that I could at the very least afford, you know, a small house. I don't want 3,100 square feet bullshit. I just want something small, 500 square feet, even less. And yet it's so fucking expensive. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
How are people affording life right now? How are people tackling this cost of living?
We're not. Truth of the matter, most of us are living paycheck to paycheck with credit card debt. I know people who are legitimately putting gas and groceries on credit cards just so that they can get back and forth to work. I believe that this is what most people are now calling the silent depression. $100 has become the new $20, and it's ridiculous, but the best thing about it is that people have shifted their core values. Look at this app alone and all the videos of all the retailers on Black Friday that nobody was there. They just don't care anymore. People are realizing that if it doesn't bring value into my life, then I don't need it. And while I don't get political on this app, you're having people on both sides of the aisles going, yeah, this kind of sucks. Right wing, left wing, it doesn't matter. It's the same bird. And now so many Americans are going, I don't care. I think it's woken a lot of people up to the idea of why are we funding things that we don't care about when all of us right here are struggling. It's changed the people's attitude in the workforce to where a job is just a job. You used to be very loyal to a job, but they've seen that there's no employee loyalty because there's no employer loyalty. People aren't putting up with toxic bosses anymore. You're either going to treat me right or I'm going to leave, because there's tons of companies that are hiring because nobody can find help. People just don't trust the system anymore, and they're starting to focus on what matters the most. Most people are out here making more money than they ever have and realizing that it's not going anywhere, so they're just not spending it. And what has made a lot of people turn their back on the system is that now they somehow either make too much or not enough money to qualify for the government assistance that they've been paying into their entire life. There are people out there who can't afford to buy the groceries, but they make too much money to get the food stamps. A lot of people are out here calling it the depression. I like to call it the awakening. People are just realizing how much they can get done on their own and that they don't need the government to hold their hand. So to go back to your question, how are people making it? Financially, I don't really know, but I'm very grateful that people are starting to look for answers.
Anyone else building a house and paying interest only, so about $2,000 a month and renting, how the fuck do you do it? And then spending about $150 to $200 a week on food, fuel's up to $2 a fucking litre. How in the fuck are any of you guys doing this off one income is beyond me. I'm making money online selling digital products, but if I wasn't, holy fuck. If you do want to learn how to make money off your phone 2 to 3 hours a day online selling digital products, hit me up because that is fucked paying for this shit.
Please tell me I'm not the only one that feels like life in Australia right now is just so much freaking harder than it was even 2-3 years ago. I go to the pub to see friends and a beer is $15. A gin and tonic is $18. A Parmigiana is $32. I go to buy makeup and everything is minimum $60, $65, $70. I get my paycheck at the end of every fortnight and I'm like, hang on a second, where is like all my money gone? And then I realize a third of it's gone to taxes. 10% of it has gone to HECS. A whole bunch has to pay insurance, rent, everything, blah, blah, blah. I'm left with like nothing. Then I go to live and have a roof over my head and my rent's gone up. But it's not like I can move out and go to another place because there's like nothing on the market. Even coffee is expensive. Can someone explain why I'm now paying $4.50, $5 for a flat white? Honestly, I don't know what's going on in this country, but everything is so expensive and I feel freaking poor.
I just don't want to do this anymore. It's so cold in here, as you can see. I'm wrapped up in a duvet. My son's got like 3 different layers on, just to try and stay warm because it's so cold in here.
Watching that woman's video broke my heart this morning. She said she had to choose between gas and electric, and she ended up choosing electric because she needed to cook for her children to eat, and that the gas, she couldn't afford it. So she was literally freezing and shaking in that video, as you can see. And people are going through a lot in the UK right now. It's not even a joke. It is not a joke, especially when you live in these old houses that were built ages ago. The insulation is bad. I remember when I moved to the UK, I lived in such a house, so renting a proper house was difficult. And Ariella was one, and my son, I was pregnant with my son then. I would hold Ariella, shivering like this in front of the heater. The heater is on, but we are still shivering. It's not, the cold was too much. It's not like these houses where we live now, like where I live now. These are one of the newer homes that have been built, well insulated. I use only electric in my house. And when I put on my electric heater, 1 hour, it can last me even the whole night. I don't sleep with heating. My kids sleep with heating. The other day, I loaded 100 pounds on my electric meter. And I had cooked that night. I did washing. And then I left my children's heater till morning. By morning, the money had dropped to 60 pounds. I was like, 40 pounds in a day. How are people managing? If you live in Africa, now is the time to help your family that is abroad. If you change 90,000 naira or whatever it is, cedis or rand, and you send them 100 pounds for them to use for their electric or gas bills, they will bless you and thank you. If you live in Africa, and you are used to your family members sending you money and they cannot send for you this period, have some compassion. Now is the wrongest time to ask anybody that lives abroad for money. If you do it, you're a murderer. People are going through hell.
If you live in Canada, I want you to do me a favor. The next time you go grocery shopping, take a picture of everything you buy and every price tag. When Donald Trump assumes office and he introduces his tariffs, I want you to see how much that's going to affect our prices. I hope I'm wrong, but I'm thinking it will affect them quite heavily. And if you live in the United States, I beg you to do the same thing.
I'm in a laundromat in Jamaica and absolutely nobody prepared me for how absurd the prices are here. How are the locals affording this? I'm from New York and I've used wash and dry, do your own laundromats in Manhattan before. Like if you're from New York, you know not every apartment has a washing machine. And the most I've ever paid is about $12. So like $6 for a wash, $6 for a dry. Tell me why here in Jamaica, in Kingston, to use a laundromat, it's $25 US. And it's charged per minute too. Like, I just think that's insane. So I use the washing machine over here. To use one of these, it's $1,800 and the soap is $250 extra. I think that's just a few bucks. And if you want to save some money, you can use one of these little ones But the thing is, you have to use your own water. So the whole time it's washing, you need to have a bucket and then dump the water in like this. I've never seen that before. Or you can use one of these for about $12. And then these are the dryers, and it is 700 Jamaican per 10 minutes to use the dryer. So it's like $5 every 10 minutes. I've never seen a laundromat like this. I've traveled all over the world. Please tell me, is this normal? Like, I feel like this is so unsustainable. I've also noticed that the grocery prices are quite high. Like a bag of grapes is also $25. I just don't know how anyone affords to live here.
Toronto. It's been reported on high grocery prices and rental costs are squeezing low-income families in Canada, even though inflation trends downward. Here's more info. It's been reported that 51% of Canadians find it challenging to keep up with their household food needs. And over 65% of Canadians are struggling with the rise of cost of living. These are Canadians with a household income of under $50,000 yearly. And when they ask Canadians how they're coping with costs when it comes to financial outlook, debt, housing, and food expenses, here's the breakdown of what Canadians responded with. So Toronto, what can our country do to better economic stability for Canadian families? Let me know below.
If you ever want to feel better about the cost of groceries, just try and grow your own vegetables, because I've spent about 6 months of my life and probably $20 trying to grow a single carrot, and now that $2.50 bag of carrots doesn't seem like a very bad deal. So
I don't know what the right answer is. I don't know what the right answer is come tomorrow. All I do know is that inflation is not going down. The news is straight up lying, which all of us Americans know. But this was a text that I sent back in June to one of my girlfriends. We were talking this summer about how expensive groceries were then. And I was like, oh my God, you guys got to go to Aldi's. Like, Aldi's is where it's at. And so I sent them a picture of all the things that I got from Aldi's back in June. It's 4 huge boxes filled to the brim. And I got steak, I got chicken breasts, I got ground beef, I got burgers, fresh burgers, not frozen patties. I got fresh burger patties to grill. And it was $190. This is what I got today. 4 Aldi's bags. And then obviously my little drinks and yogurt is out of the bags. Didn't get any. I got 1 thing of meat. I did not get all the meat that I needed. And this is stuff to make for 4 dinners and then obviously lunches and shit like that for my kids. I didn't even get the meat because they didn't have the meat that I needed. So I had to further go to Hy-Vee. But all of this was $300. $110 more for less things. And I didn't even get any meat. I had to go spend $80 at Hy-Vee to get ground beef, some beef stew meat, a couple things of potatoes, and sour cream. I cannot spend almost $400 a week on groceries. This is absolutely insane. I don't know what is going on, why shit keeps going up. It doesn't make any fucking sense to me, but the news is literally lying, obviously. Shit is not coming down.
The beautiful French island of Martinique has been gripped by violent protests.
How do you negotiate with a sociopath? I don't think you can.
Struggling with high cost of living, residents are demanding immediate action.
I don't think it's time for negotiations anymore. It's just these are our demands, you take them.
As food prices soar 40% higher than mainland France.
It's not take it or leave it. It's take it or else.
What started as peaceful demonstrations has now escalated into looting, arson, and clashes with police.
And today, we've reached a stage where cost of living is not sustainable. A lot of families are not able to live on that. And something can be done. And it's not just about money. It's not just, it's not a bunch of employees that are asking for higher wages. You're talking about something that is deeply ingrained. You're talking about a history of slave and slave masters that is still going on today because of the way that the economy, because of the way the country is run. That is a representation of slavery, or what we had right after slavery, which was not very different from what we have now. Okay, yes, we have cars, and yes, we have jobs and stuff like that, but who controls the country? It's still them. And nothing has changed. And they didn't lose anything. They ended up gaining more. It's a lot more than outrage. the emotions that we feel. We feel anger, we feel hurt, we feel rage. A rage that is what? How many centuries old? So in that context where there's so many emotions, strong emotions, when you bring in a fleet of the military police, you've announced clearly your intention, and you're not gonna make things, you're not gonna appease, because the negotiations were live, which is completely new. It's novel, and it was great because then people were able to see what was happening, right? And so we could see their unwillingness to compromise.
In fact, one protester was shot and killed, forcing authorities to impose an island-wide curfew. But the protests rage on as the people demand affordable prices for basic necessities.
Of course, I would love for there not to be any bloodshed. I would love for us to have that solution of a peaceful protest or revolution, you know, in ways that we've never thought about before, you know. And I don't believe that it doesn't exist. It's not because we haven't thought about it that it doesn't exist, right? But today, with the state of the situation now, that they have brought in 700 police here in this country because we're asking for a little bit of dignity, how can you not be outraged by that? How can you not have blood in your mouth and wanting to burn things when there's so much disrespect?
What? It's official, guys. Walmart has removed the self-checkout counter from my store. Now, the only people who can use self-checkout is Walmart Plus members. Now, mind you, I'm the crazy one, right? I'm the crazy one, right? This company that has hundreds of billions of dollars is now charging you a yearly fee to check out your own groceries. And now, as the lines are longest down the store, they're not going to pay more employees to work. They're not going to pay more to work. They're not going to give employees cash registers that work and are updated and efficient. Every time you come, you try and work with a cashier, they're standing there trying to get the machine to work. And now you have to pay a yearly fee, and it's not even like it's cheap like Costco. It costs more than Costco. Like on the Walmart app, it's saying, see if you qualify for 50% off of the $49 a year. So it's $100 a year to check your own self out. Clown world. We literally live in clown world. Like, where up is down and right is left and black is white, and like, how is the city still standing? What's next? We live in subscription hell. So now if I want to be in and out of this store in some modicum of a timely fashion, which I do because this store stresses me out, as most stores do, I have to pay a yearly fee in order to get my 2 little things that I need, get into the line, and get out of here. And so it's moments like this when it's like you start to realize, okay, I'm going to have to start making a lifestyle change now. I don't want to be in here. I'm going to start shopping here less. Last minute picking up stuff, I'm not going to do it here. I'm going to do it at Winn-Dixie or Aldi or Publix or what have you. Or Target even. Like, how many more subscriptions? How many more? Like, how much more money do you need from people? Like, people are already shopping in your store, and now you're making them pay a subscription to shop here. And I bet you Walmart Plus
plus is plus for now. It's gonna move to everybody. Like, if you want to shop at Walmart, you're gonna have to pay $100 a year. The store is not cleaner. It's not more organized. There aren't more workers working. I know for a fact that they're not getting paid more per hour. Like, again, why is the city still standing?
All right, it's time to face a little bit of reality, folks. If we look at the financial news right now, we can see what's going to happen financially over the next few months. Let's take a look. Let's read this headline together. U.S. bond yields surge as Trump win stokes inflation expectations. Why is this coming out? So this is mainstream, this is Bloomberg or something like that, mainstream financial news. This is financial people who are betting their own money, are demanding higher bond yields because there's going to be inflation. That's what happens. That's how we know the people who know what's going on know there's going to be inflation. But how can we also tell there's going to be inflation? Simple. Trump has promised inflation. He's going to do two things on day one, right? He's going to put in the tariffs and he's going to mass deportations. Well, if you put in tariffs are effectively a sales tax at the wholesale level. That's going to raise prices. That is 101% of economists agree tariffs raise prices. Just going to happen. Now, politically, you may say, well, yeah, that's going to also reshore manufacturing. It's going to create jobs. It's going to do this, going to do that. Okay, great. Those might be good things. But the cost is going to be higher prices. Mass deportations are also going to raise prices because where do a lot of those illegal, undocumented immigrants work? They work on farms, right? They're not sitting there collecting government, I'm sure you've heard of that joke about Schrodinger's immigrant, right? Who's somehow stealing your job but also collecting welfare and not working. These guys are working. They're not collecting government assistance. They can't. They don't have a social security number. They can't be on the government dole. They're working. Where are they working? A lot of it's in agriculture. So you get rid of them, the cost to harvest goes up. They have to either hire local people, or if they can't get them, they just harvest less. That's going to raise the price of food. This means anything that's made in China, refrigerators and dishwashers and all that kind of stuff, that price is going up. And all the stuff that goes in the refrigerator is going up because that comes from farms. So we're going to have inflation, and we know we're going to have inflation because the financial experts know we're going to have inflation. So we know it's going to happen. Why is this important? This is important because a lot of people have bought the political line of Trump's going to lower prices and make the economy better. Now, will the economy be better? That could be a political question. Maybe it will, maybe it will. With the tax policy good? I don't know. I have an opinion, but that's not important here. What's important here is you need to understand prices are going up, interest rates are going up, the stock market's going to go up as well, as is Bitcoin. Why? Because Trump's buddies, the people he likes, this is not cronyism, it's the people in his universe. In other words, all the people he thinks are important because he doesn't understand what it's like to be a worker. This gets into why most politicians aren't corrupt. They're just ignorant, not in the racist ignorant way, just in the they don't know people kind of way. Everyone they know has a lot of money in the stock market, so they think the stock market is the economy, so if the stock market goes up, that's good. So when he says the economy is going to be better, he honestly thinks that's true, because the stock market's going to go up. But prices are going to go up, wages are not. This is going to drive up the stock market. So anyone who has assets in the stock market is going to do great. If you have assets in the sidelines right now, like in a checking account, in a savings account, put them into the stock market. Find a good index fund with no fees, get it in there. You're going to be riding that elevator up for the next few months. Some good things are going to happen for you and that money. But for anyone who doesn't have assets, it's like Ted Kennedy once said, a rising tide lifts all boats, but if you don't have a boat, the tide goes up your nose. And that's what's going to happen to people who don't have assets, which is unfortunately a lot of people who voted for him, because when he said the economy will be better, they assumed he meant it's going to put more money in my pocket, raise my wages, and lower my cost of living. None of that's what's going to happen. None of that's what's going to happen. The economy, as in the stock market's going to go up. Gas prices may go down because the tariffs will inhibit economic activity, and anytime you inhibit economic activity, it reduces demand for oil. So yeah, gas prices might go down, but the price of everything else is going to go up with it. So you can drive to the store, but you can't afford to buy anything when you're there. That's what we're looking at. Again, this is not a political thing. This is simply the analysis that we're seeing from the financial experts. So I'm sharing this, not to say Trump is good or Trump is bad. That's opinions I have in other videos. It is to say, you got to know what's going to happen. You want to know if it's going to rain so you can bring an umbrella. It's not, I like rain, I don't like rain. It's going to rain. You should bring an umbrella. Well, I don't like rain. I don't care. Bring an umbrella. Inflation is going to happen. Be ready for it. If you need to buy appliances, buy them now. If you need a new car, buy it now. That price is going to be higher in 2025 substantially than it is today. So if you need it, now's the time to get it. And what's interesting is this word's going to get around, and it's going to cause an economic bump. We're going to see a bump of activity in Q4. And people are going to say, Trump stimulated the economy. Yeah, that's because everyone pulled forward their spending out of 2025. Q1 is not going to look good because people are going to be pulling forward those durable goods orders into 2024 because the smart money knows what's going to be happening. So I just wanted to share that with you. For anyone who's not following the financial pages, this is what you need to know is going to be happening. So plan your finances accordingly.
I want to know, why did my grocery bill go up $150 and I'm buying the same shit? That's so true. What happens when the price of bread becomes $25 and niggas start killing each other over ham sandwiches?
That's where we're going.
That's where we are.
Right.